Okay, so we'll start on our back, lying down, stretching out. You can place a pillow behind your head, even pillows underneath your knees. You can close your eyes. Placing one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Start to inhale slowly through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. So inhale pretty deeply now this time through your nose, feeling your whole body lift. And then as you exhale out of your mouth, just let go of anything that's been going on, anything that needs to be done. Set all that aside. Inhale deeply, and then exhale out of your mouth. There's a lot of things that we carry around with ourselves throughout the day or throughout the evening, and it becomes hard to move around with it. So they have these expressions that that you can just, it's as if you're carrying around bags, and you're carrying around bags with all your responsibilities, with your job, with your worries. And just to set these things aside right now, just to drop the weight, place them beside your mat so that you can practice freely and take the most out of the practice. So one more time, inhaling deeply through your nose. And then letting out a big exhale out of your mouth. Slowly bring your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. Warming up the spine. And then bringing your knees so that they're pointed towards the ceiling. And here, just rock your legs side to side, and then back and forth with your knees on the ceiling. So it's as if you're drawing a plus sign with your knees today. So back and forth, up and down, and then side to side. And then give yourself one more last squeeze here, and then come over into a fetal position on either side, right or left, pushing into your hands, coming into a tabletop. In the tabletop position, you can move around a little bit more freely, moving your hips side to side. Or rounding around with your torso in circle. So bringing your torso down to the right, to the left, and upward, and going the other way. And then slowly push up into your hands and feet, coming into a downward facing dog. Walking out your feet. And then walk your feet up to your hands at the top of the mat. At the top of the mat, just let go over your legs, having a bend in your knees, hanging over your legs. You can even grab onto your elbows, letting your head drop. Inhale, lift, straightening out your back. You can even hold on to your shin. And exhale, let go into the pose again, hanging over your legs. Slowly come up, inhaling and walking your hands up your legs, and then bringing your hands overhead, palms together at the top, reaching towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands by your side. One more time, inhale, hands overhead towards the ceiling, and exhale, arms by your side. So here we'll start with some shoulder rotations back, rounding our shoulders behind us. Large shoulder rotations up to your ears, imagining our shoulder blades touching behind. And then rounding forward. And then ground your feet so they're about hip width apart. And then turn your right foot out so that your heel is either leaning right onto your ankle. And then from here, lift your foot and the inseam of your left leg. So you can be anywhere on the inside of your leg. Check that your glutes are activated, that you're not sinking into the pose. And once you're ready, you can bring your hands to heart center, or you can bring your arms out. And check how your tree is doing today. Inhale, bring attention to your back. Lengthen your back, you're pulling towards the ceiling. Exhale, give a squeeze to your abs. Inhale, bring your knee forward. Exhale, bring your foot down. This time, ground your right foot. Flip out your left foot. And then bring your left foot inside the right leg. When you're ready, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, back is long. Exhale, abs are tight and contained. Inhale, bring your knee forward. Exhale, drop your foot to the ground. And then here, if you like, rotate your shoulders back, warm up. And then slowly bring your right arm underneath your left arm. So right underneath the left. You can have your arms intertwined in front of your face. It blocks your view a little bit, or you can hold on to your shoulders. And then from here, start to sit down into your chair. You can have your knees together, knees apart, it's okay. And then inhale, lift your right knee, and exhale, wrap it around your left leg. Here you can have your toe touching the ground for support, have it hanging on the side, or if you're able to wrap it around. In your left foot, check that your toes are spread, you have a good grip. Inhale, back is long, arms are parallel to the ground. Exhale, try to sit a little deeper into this chair. Even if you're holding onto your shoulder, to challenge yourselves in these balancing poses, you can always try to lower your gaze and your eyelids. So you're not closing your eyes, you're just lowering your gaze. Inhale here, long back. Exhale, squeeze your abs. Inhale, unwrap your arms and bring your knee forward. And exhale, drop your foot to the ground. Here it might feel good just to shake out the arms, shake out the torso. And then bring your right arm, your left arm this time, underneath your right. So the left is underneath. And if you had your arms on your shoulder, maybe try with your hands tied in front, see how that feels, or the other way around. And then slowly here, start to sit into that chair. Inhale, lift the left leg this time and wrap it around the right leg. Notice that in this position, your shoulders are right over your hips, that you're not leaning forward or leaning too far back in this, or that your hips are not on one side or the other side, that you're in alignment. Inhale, long back. Exhale, squeeze your abs, sit a little lower. Inhale, lift out, knees in front. And exhale, drop your foot. So here, now turn around so that you're facing the front of your mat. At the top of your mat, rotate your shoulders back and then land your hands behind your back. And then from here, start to bring your gaze towards the ceiling. So you're coming into a slight backward bend. You're still able to breathe easily. Feeling the stretch in your front, in the abs. Just counteracting all that forward bending that we do. Feeling that your shoulders are broad, chest is broad. And then come back straight at the top of your mat. Your shoulders are above your hips, hips are over your ankles. And then from here, start to inhale, body is long towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands right down to your feet. Inhale, lift your back is long and straight. And as you exhale this time, bring your right foot back behind you. So you're coming into a low lunge with your right foot. And when you're ready, start to come up, bringing your weight into your front leg. So then, at this point, you can bring your arms overhead, stretching up towards the ceiling, or you can have your arms behind you. But the idea is to have this angle, this diagonal throughout your body. So your torso and your leg is aligned. It's as if you're about to lunge into the wall or the mirror or whatever is in front of you. So your heel is lifted in your right foot. And have the weight evenly distributed among your toes. And check that your front knee is right over your ankle. Bring your hands to your hips. And then turn your back foot. So the right foot still is facing the screen. It's parallel to the back of the mat. And your hips are opening up also towards the screen. And then here, bring your arms straight up by your sides at your shoulder height, with your left arm stretching over your left leg, and your right arm is behind you. Here, there's a tendency, even with the knee, that the knee comes towards the front knee starts to angle forward. So check that your knee is in line with your big toe when you're looking in front. And here, inhale, long back. You're reaching towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going a little deeper into that front leg, bending a bit more. Inhale, twist forward. So your back arm is going towards the ceiling and you're leaning forward onto your front leg. You can look towards your right hand that's going towards the ceiling. And then come back up, arms are parallel to the ground. Straighten your front knee. And then this time cartwheel backwards. So your left arm is towards the ceiling. Come back. Arms parallel. Bring that bend back into the front leg. And then bring your arms to your hips. Straighten the front knee. And this time twist. Rotate your feet so now they're both facing the screen. Both parallel to the front and back of the mat. Here you might widen your stance. You're preparing for a forward fold. So slowly here, if you want to grab some water, you can before. And then slowly when you're ready, start to bend forward. So bringing your head down to the ground, your arms are going down your legs. You can hold on to your shin. And here, try to keep your legs long so there's no bend in your knees so that you feel the stretch in the back of the leg. Play with the weight. So if you shift towards your toes, what does that feel like in the back of your leg? If you shift your weight towards your heels without lifting your toes, what does that feel like? Here, let go of the weight of your body, your torso here. You can interlace your fingers and place your hands behind your head. Not pulling your head down or anything, but just the weight of your hands will help give an extra stretch to your back and your neck. So you'll feel the pull. As we hold this pose, you start to feel the stretches deepening in your back leg. And even the weight of your head seems to be getting heavier. Notice your breath here, inhaling through your nose and exhaling out of your mouth. Slowly bring your hands to the ground in front of you. And then start to bring a little bend into your elbows. So you're just sinking a little deeper into this pose. You're just still letting your head hang. And here, walk your hands towards your front foot, so to the left side. So your hands are right over around your left foot. Feel the feeling of the stretch in your left leg here, pulling that hamstring. You might have a bend in your knee at this point, and that's okay. And then start to walk your hands towards the back foot, the right foot this time. Feeling the stretch in that leg, that hamstring. Slowly come back to center, in the middle. And then one more time, bring a bend into your elbows, feeling the stretch in both hamstrings. Bring your hands to your shins. And slowly start to walk your hands up your legs, coming back up straight at the top of your mat. Here, if you have some water nearby, take a sip. We'll just give it a second for the blood to rush back down. And then slowly turn your back foot this time, so you're facing the back of the mat. So you're turning in your right foot, and then bring a bend into that front foot. Your back foot is still parallel to the back of the mat. And then check that your knee is in line with the big toe in front of you now. When you're ready, bring your arms parallel. Inhale, your body is long, lifting towards the ceiling. And then exhale, go a little deeper into that front leg, keeping the knee right over the ankle. You might change your stance, make it shorter, wider. And always check that your heels are in line as well. Then flip your thumbs up towards the ceiling. And then this time, come forward. You're twisting towards the front, cartwheeling forward, leaning onto the front knee. Your left arm is towards the ceiling. There's not much weight on the front leg. So it's more that you're feeling the stretch in the side of the body. You can even reach towards the front. With that arm, you're now going towards the ceiling, and then you go right to the front, feeling the stretch right through the side. Then come back up, arms are parallel, straighten that front knee, and then cartwheel backwards. Arm is towards the ceiling. Come back, arm parallel. Bring a bend into that front knee again. And then this time, bring your hands to your hips and adjust the back foot so you come onto your tippy toes. And both your feet are now facing the back of the mat from where you started. Come into the front leg, and when you're ready, you can bring your arms up towards the ceiling. And if you had your arms back before, then do the alternative. And same thing, when you feel your body or you see your body in the camera, in the mirror or something, imagine this line going through a diagonal line with your torso, your arms, your legs. You're making a whole diagonal. Inhale, lift, reach, back or forward. And then exhale, bring your hands around the front leg. You're coming down around your front foot. And then this time you can drop your knee. So your left knee is dropping onto the ground, and your arms are around your right foot. So here what you can do is bring a pillow underneath your left knee. And here, either with blocks or just keeping your hands on the ground as is, you can just stay here with your hands on the ground. Or bring your right foot outside. So your arm is coming inside your foot, and your foot is coming outside your arm, bringing the stretch into the inside of the thigh. So here, either with blocks or without blocks, your back is long, your neck is long. And then you can lower yourself down either onto the ground itself or onto some blocks with your forearms, enhancing the stretch in the inner hip. So here you can take a moment to practice breathing exercise. So here, bring your attention to your breath. So in your mind, you can say inhale, and inhale for as long as you can. Then hold your breath for as long as you can. Then exhale out of your mouth. And hold the breath at the end for a little bit. And then continue to inhale. Hold your breath. Exhale. And hold your breath. Inhale. Hold your breath. Exhale. Hold your breath. And then slowly here, come up, tuck your left toe, and then either walk yourself back with your blocks or with your hands coming behind you. So you're walking back, straightening out that right leg, and you're landing on your toes of your left foot. Your left toes are bent behind you, and you can sit onto your left leg here, flexing your right foot. There's always one side that's a bit challenging, so this might be it for you. So just flexing those toes a little bit, giving a little stretch. And then slowly start to walk your blocks forward. Coming back up. And then bring your right leg back behind you. And here you can set aside your pillow and then come into a child's pose. That might feel good here. So widening your knees and then just stretching out, sitting onto your heels, stretching in front of you. Feeling the stretch in the shoulders as well as the and slowly come back up, tabletop. And then this time, place the pillow underneath your right knee. And then when you're ready, the left foot forward and press and stretch back that right knee. When you're ready, you have your hands on the ground if you want, or on the block. And then slowly bring your left foot out and bring the block inside. So bringing that stretch to the inside of the left leg. And then slowly here, you can stay long in this pose. Or if you like, start to lower down onto your blocks, onto your forearms at any height. So it could be the highest part of the block or lower. Descending that stretch a little deeper. Notice your breath. Are you breathing really quickly? Try to slow it down. Notice the music. If your mind is wandering at any point, notice that it's happening and come back. I try to imagine it's as if we're driving on the highway And then our destination, our goal is just to keep on this highway. Right now in this class, we're just supposed to stay into this class. And then sometimes suddenly we take the exit. And then we messed up. We weren't supposed to take the exit. We noticed that we're on the service road. And then we come back onto the highway. And that's all right. So that's what we're practicing here. Slowly come back onto your blocks or onto your hands. Coming back tall. Tuck your right toes this time. And then slowly start to walk your blocks or your hands behind you, keeping your toes tucked, and then land onto your right toes. Here, flex your left foot. Feeling the stretch in the toes and in the leg at the same time. Try to keep your head tall, your back long. It's a tough to challenging pose. And at this point, if you're noticing that this is the harder side, the difficult side for you, try to come to your breath. Try to be kind to yourself, knowing that we won't be holding it for too long. And then slowly come back, walk your blocks forward, your hands forward, flip out your back toes, and then bring back your right leg, keeping both your legs together here. And then if you like in this pose here, just come up into a downward facing dog. So push into your hands and your feet, hips go up to the sky, and walk out your toes. And then bring your right leg up, towards the ceiling. Bring your right knee towards your right wrist, and then your foot is going to the left side. Stretch out that back leg. And here you can stay up if this feels good. Sometimes trying an alternative is a good idea. So you can even grab some blocks, keeping yourself long. And you'll notice that by keeping your torso long, you're putting more pressure into the pose. It's a deeper stretch. So if you inch your toes forward, your left toes are going forward, you'll notice more pressure onto that thigh. So you can stay here, try something new, or if it's not working, bring your block in front of you and lower your torso down, keeping your head onto the block in front of you. Your shoulder is right over your elbows. And then you can readjust, bringing your toes forward or back. And even at midpoint, if you're standing tall, you can come back down. Vice versa, you can go back up. Here, if your mind is wandering, just bring your attention back to your body, feeling the sensations in your body, bringing your attention to those feelings. Maybe it's your lower back, maybe you're feeling something there. maybe your neck, your hips. Notice the movement of your body as you breathe. You feel your belly expand, which makes your body lift. And as you exhale, your lower back sinks a little bit deeper. Slowly push up into this position, placing your hands on the ground, and then come back into a downward facing dog. Pushing into your hands, maybe walking out your feet, or just trying to pull your heels down to the ground. And if you're trying to pull your heels down to the ground, notice the difference in the sensation between your right and left leg right now. You notice that one leg is a little looser? And then slowly bring your left leg up to the ceiling. Point it all the way up. Left knee towards left wrist, and then the foot goes right to the right side. Pull back your right leg this time. And then slowly either lower yourself down or stay propped up onto your blocks or your hands. And whatever modification, variation that you choose, always bring your attention to your own body's alignment. That your shoulders, your hips, and your elbows, everything is in line, and you're not causing yourself any additional injury. If there's any other sounds around you, make those sounds part of your practice. Incorporate them into the class. come onto your hands. And then this time just sit down onto your left hip. And then from this pose here, just bring your blocks to set up. And just bring them on your side so you have space behind your back. And turn around onto your back. Lying down. Bring your knees into your chest. And rock yourself side to side. If you have space, bring your feet down to the ground so that your knees are facing the ceiling and your feet are about mat width apart. And then what you're going to do is windshield wiper your legs, but slowly. So bringing your knees down to the right side, holding that for a moment, maybe one breath. So inhale and exhale. Then bring your knees up, bring them over to the left side, bringing your knees down. For one breath, inhale through your nose and exhale. Bring your knees back up to neutral and then over to the right side again so that your knees are dropping down to the ground. Hold that for one breath, inhale and exhale. And one last time on the left side, knees to the ground, inhale, exhale, and then bring your knees back to center. And here, depending on how you're feeling today, either you can set up so that you're putting one block at a time underneath your hips, lifting your hips and placing them there. Or if you like, come up, lift yourself up, and set up the blocks behind you for your back. So you're placing one block along your back for your spine, so on the medium side, and then a second block for your head. So this would be more for your upper back, and then if you're doing the bridge pose with the blocks for your lower back. So whichever one you're feeling like you're having some issues with today. And then once you're ready, bring some pillows if you're lying onto your blocks behind you for your knees. And then set up, lie down onto your block. You have your blocks on your back. Then bring your feet together and open your legs so your knees fall apart and you're in cobbler's pose with your legs. And if you're working through the bridge pose, lift your hips up and now bring in the second block, piling your two blocks together and lifting your hips even higher. And in bridge pose, just tuck your shoulders behind your back. Underneath you, and in either of the poses, just bring your arms on the ground, palms facing the ceiling, and try to let go into the pose. If the blocks are behind you and you're noticing a little pinch in your lower back, try to lift your hips up and stretch out the lower back and see if that makes it feel a little better. Whichever pose you've picked, we'll be holding it for a little while, so you can close your eyes or cover your eyes with something. And with your eyes closed, what you can do is start to bring your gaze inside your eyeballs towards the left side. Stretching your eyes, and then bringing your gaze towards the right side. Then your gaze upward and downward. You can continue that way, making a plus sign with your eyes. So from the left to the right, then up and down. Then come back to neutral. Your eyes are not moving around anymore. Let go into this pose. Notice if you're holding any muscles that don't need to be held. Maybe your hips are lifted in the pose with your blocks behind your back. Maybe you're activating your glutes a little that you don't need to be. Or maybe your muscles are activated in your face. If you're lying on the block, with the blocks behind your back, you can bring your arms overhead. So bringing your arms overhead, even stopping at your forehead and staying there. Or if you like, try to go behind your head. Just with the weight of your arms, you're having your arms hang behind your head and feeling the opening in your arms as well as your back. If it's too intense, come back and place the weight on your forehead of your hands. And just holding this as long as you want, as long as it feels good for you. And then slowly bringing your arms back by your side, palms facing the ceiling. If you're sitting, you have your hips up with your blocks underneath your hips, slowly come up onto your tippy toes and remove that top block, lowering your hips down to the first block. Here you can have your knees topple inwards if you're in that pose with the blocks underneath your hips. And if you have your blocks underneath your back, bring your knees together and your feet are about mat width apart. And then slowly either roll over onto one side off your blocks that are behind your back. or lift up to remove the block from behind you. And if you're in bridge pose, lift your hip and remove that one final block. And then we're all going to join back down on the mat, lying our backs flat onto the ground and feeling the space that we've created. And then here, place a pillow underneath your head. You can place a pillow or block or bolster underneath your knee. And then just stretch out, taking some space. You could even have your arms stretched out overhead. And if you like, you can do a little stretch before reaching your toes down, stretching through your body, hands overhead. The whole body stretch. And then just spread out, taking up a lot of space. And just letting your body take in the practice. So coming back to the analogy of the road and how when we have our random thoughts and things, we're kind of taking the exit and then we have to come back onto the highway. So I'll read a quote, and it's coming from the book Journey to the Heart, and it's called "Sometimes the Road Gets Rough." Don't be dismayed when you come to a pothole, a detour, a stretch of rough, rocky road. Don't be surprised. Slow down a bit. Be patient. It's not the whole journey. It's not the way it'll always be. But it is part of your journey too. Part of your journey to your heart and soul. Even when we're living with joy and freedom, we continue to learn, grow, feel, experience. And the road can still get rough. Happiness doesn't mean feeling gleeful all the time. Happiness doesn't mean the road we're traveling on is always smooth. Happiness means feeling all we need to feel and accepting each part of the journey, even when they changes of course and the direction. Feel all your feelings, feel your fear, frustration about slowing down, and settle in for the ride. You may not always be going as fast as you'd like, but the journey hasn't stopped. You're not doing anything wrong. You are going slower, but you're still moving forward. So wherever you are on your journey, be kind to yourself. For the last few moments of class, you can send out some positive vibes to yourself, to your body, and what it's able to do for you, or even what it's not able to do. And slowly, when you're ready, start to bring your knees into your chest, rocking yourself side to side. Maybe as you're squeezing your knees into your chest, you can rotate your ankles, rotate your feet to one side, to the other side, and then land your legs onto one side, the right or left side. Taking a moment, and then when you're ready, pushing up into your hands, coming back into a seated position.